Yeah, first of all, I like to say if you're talking to 95% of CRO agencies out there, they won't focus on copywriting. They don't have good copywriters because they just do technical CRO, button testing, headline testing, and stuff like that.
The perception of that bad review is not so bad.
Yeah, there's like whole studies conducted around that a 1-star review is X times more effective than a 5-star review because people tend to read 1-star reviews.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel again. As we mentioned, this is our podcast Zero to Infinity. The purpose of this podcast is to educate e-commerce brands of how to scale profitably worldwide, and also to give visibility to e-commerce experts for our South American audience. Today we have a very special guest, Yannick Schenl, co-founder of AgenCRO. For our audience, Yannick has been in funnel building over 7 years. In these 7 years, he has helped brands generate $70 million additional sales to their current sales. And he has worked with over 150 brands from 7 to 10 figures.
Oh, Yannick, brother, it's amazing to have you here. We have been building a relationship the past, last year. And you have an amazing company and you do actually a great work. So, no, brother, happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. Lovely to have you here too.
Oh.
To be able to speak to your audience and basically provide value to them as much as I can.
Okay, no, thanks for that. So, Yannick, I think that the first part that we always like to know is how do you start in this path of e-commerce? I know that you are a specialist on CRO, but how do you start this process?
Well, it's a long story. I'm 23 now, so pretty young. I look pretty young. So that's usually the first question people ask me. When did you start and what's your qualifications? And actually I started in 2017, so close to 8 years ago now. And I started in web design actually. So my mother became self-employed and she needed a website. So I was always like the computer freak. I don't look too nerdy, but I'm all into that technical stuff. And so she needed a website and I built a website for her. And obviously was pretty good because then other people started to follow up and said, Yannick, can you build me a website? And I'm like, okay, give me $50, I'll do it. And yeah, that was when I was 15. And then I started to raise prices as you do as an entrepreneur. You start raising prices with every sale you do. And then I went up to 800 euros for website. And then my client said, okay, we can do it, but you have to invoice me this. So I can basically get a tax refund. And I'm like, oh shit. If I need to invoice it, I need to have an official business. And this was the founding stone, actually, of how I founded, because this was the only reason I had to go to the court, actually. If you're under 18 and you want to become self-employed, you have to get permission from the court in Germany. So it took like 6 months, and in October 2018, I had this license to operate freely, although I was under 18. And yeah, then I was in web design. And the first e-com project I did was in 2019, actually, when I started a print-on-demand store for like B2B. So like business cards, flyers, roll-up banners and stuff like that. People just provided a personalized version that they wanted, and I created it, and I just sent it to them via drop shipping from a German printing company. And yeah, that was my first touch point with e-commerce. And ever since then, I have just built up, got new clients, and e-com just naturally flowed in. And yeah, that's how I got into it.
Brother, that is amazing because you start 15 years when you were 15 years, and
Yeah.
that is something that is really rare in many times in the industry, you know. And when you go and see specialists on UX, UI, CRO, there is people that have more experience, you know, like 35, 33, around our age. So it's amazing the path that you have been building and also the company that you have been building, you know. At the end, you have a company size. How many people do you have inside your company?
We're 7 now.
Okay, you're 7 and you work all around the world, or you're focused on Germany in this moment?
We're focused on the German and English speaking market. So we do have native German and native English copywriters. So we're able to provide to German and English speaking clients, but not Spanish, because we just don't know anything about Spanish and the Spanish market.
Yeah, I also wanted to add something to what my brother said. Yes, we've had the pleasure to meet you, and what you've done at the HUR, it's amazing. we know you. You're a very, very, very nice guy, very intelligent guy. And regarding your process, how did you decided to focus on CRO, or how was that transition? You're telling us about website, e-commerce, but what was the turning point for you to decide to, okay, I'm going to start doing CRO, focus on e-commerce, or whatever you want to tell us? Because I know that you do also CRO for other type of things, but just to clear out.
Yeah, so there's basically two stories I like to tell. One is the one of, I mean, we do a lot in lead gen actually. So we do have some coaching clients and high ticket clients where we do landing pages and stuff like that. And up to that point, we still do it. But e-commerce has become more and more of a focus because there we can more focus on the results. Because in lead gen, you have like a huge sales cycle, which starts with like basically leads come in, they sign up on your page, and this is the conversion rate that I'm optimizing. I'm optimizing opt-in conversion rate. But what I can't see is the whole sales process that follows up behind that. So are people really called? How's the sales team performing? Are follow-ups properly done? And at the end of the day, this all impacts the outcome. And in e-commerce, it's a lot easier because you are in control over the whole process from prospecting to the sale, to the conversion. And you don't have any sales agents involved. You don't have any people that could lose control over their things. So I'm kind of a control freak. So I love having control over my results. I think that's why clients love me, because I take charge of the results I'm getting. And I want to be in charge of that. So in e-commerce, I just have the opportunity to take whole control of the whole process and just say, okay, these are the plain numbers of conversion rate, not just from lead conversion rate, but from whole sales conversion rate. So I can directly impact how many sales are coming in. And the switch has happened 2.5 years ago when we had like 50-50 e-com lead gen, and then we switched more to e-commerce and more to CRO because I had one client that we did like Shopify for, and he had a CRO agency, and the CRO agency was horribly bad, and they charged like $8,000 a month for the horribly bad CRO that they did. And I was like, okay, we can do it better. We'll do it better. We don't charge anything extra. We'll try our best. And within the first month, we outperformed 8 months of the old CRO agency. And this was basically the sign of the universe for me to say, okay, we need to focus more on CRO. So that's the two stories.
I think something that is amazing that you in 1 month make what someone couldn't do in the past 8 months. But for our audience, what the fuck is CRO? You know, many people do not know what is CRO. They do not put and don't get me wrong. This in Latin America, in Latam, is not well known. You know, when you talk and speak about CRO, many people do not know about this. So I would like to explain us what is CRO.
I think it's pretty easy. So imagine you're having a store.
Yeah.
And 90% of all efforts and budget is taken into how can we get more traffic to that store. So how can we get better media buying, better creatives and stuff, so get more traffic on the page. But what happens with the people once they land on your page? This is the whole part of conversion. So you have traffic times conversion equals results. And most people just focus on the traffic. And CRO is basically conversion rate optimization. So the opposite thing, not focusing on the traffic, but focusing on anything that comes after that. So many people say, okay, CRO, conversion rate optimization, is just A/B testing. We're just testing things against each other. We're changing headlines, looking, does a green button work better than a red button? But in reality, CRO is much more than that. It basically covers everything what happens after the click to the ad. So what kind of page people see? Are they seeing a landing page, a product page, an advertorial, a listicle? What happens with the copywriting? What happens there? Which angle are we pulling on? Are we telling them about the 5 reasons why you should buy this product right now? Are we telling about my story, how I got rid of this and this problem? And all of this influences conversion rate. And this is what I like to put as conversion rate optimization. It's everything that needs to be done in order to get people to buy from your page after they clicked on the ad.
Continue.
No, that's very interesting. And for you, let's say, I don't know. I know that in this meeting it would be very hard to sum up all the details of CRO because I can know that it can get very detailed. But I wanted to know, like, if you could share to our audience, like, what would be the main things or like the basis of having good CRO for you? What would it be?
Funnel testing.
Funnel testing.
Yeah, there's so many things in CRO that you can do. It's like a science of its own. There's like complete courses and studies about statistics and stuff like that. And most people and also CRO agencies tend to overcomplicate it because they want to sell to their audience. They want to basically be the experts. No one knows about it's rocket science. But actually, it's not rocket science. For most of the brands, you just have this plain simple component, which I call funnel testing. Funnel testing is basically just testing, does a product page work better than a landing page, work better than an advertorial or a listicle? Just testing different funnels. That's the easiest way of conversion rate optimization with the biggest lever you can pull. Because if we're comparing, like, let's say you have a product, everyone has a product page, and you've had this product page for years and it converted at like 3%, 4%. And that's a conversion rate you see on Shopify. And if you want to raise this conversion, and do conversion rate optimization because you want to optimize it, of course you could dive deep into it and do the whole technical stuff and try to optimize every single thing. But you could also just test what happens if I do a completely new sales page, for example, where I say, okay, one-time offer only on this page, and you can purchase directly from it in a 1-pack, 2-pack, 4-pack for higher AOV. You can just do, this is called a funnel test. You just test product page versus new sales page. And then your conversion can leverage from like 3%, 4% to like 8%. So you have 100% uplift on that. And it's like super easy because the only thing you have to do is just set up a new page, do the copywriting, do the design, do the development, and just put it in testing. Give it a 50-50 traffic split. That's the easiest way of conversion rate optimization and also the most effective way, in my opinion.
I think something that you mentioned here is important is how do you split the traffic? Because many people obviously get this question, okay, how do I land traffic over there? How do I land traffic over there? I know that you're focused on CRO. However, the part of the traffic is way important to give visibility of both of the landing pages or product pages that you're testing.
Also pretty simple. There's basically two ways to do split testing. One way is to have an external software that basically takes the traffic that comes to product page A, takes 50% of that and sends it to product page B or landing page or whatever. It's basically just a software like convert.com, VWO, Optimizely. There's so many out there. Chameleon. But there's a second way to do it, and it depends on what kind of test you're doing. So if you're doing a funnel test, where you're just changing one page to the other, it can make sense to split the traffic on the page level. So take 50% of product page traffic, like I said, and send it elsewhere. But if you do complete new angle test, for example, I'm testing, okay, let's say we have a fashion brand and we're testing the blue jacket versus the red jacket, for example, could also be a test. But it doesn't make sense to split it on the product page level because people that come from a blue jacket expect a blue jacket page, of course.
Of course.
So what you also can do is just set up a split test within Meta or Google, wherever you want. There's like built-in split test tools that you can run, and you can just change the page there. So that's two ways of running a split test. It all depends on what kind of test you're doing.
Amazing. Two questions. Regarding in the sales funnel that you told us and these different things that you could do, you talked about the copywriting, and I think copywriting is one of the most important things for making an irresistible offer, like really stand out and really appeal to that user. Maybe what are the tricks that you know, that details or things that I know that people would like to know in that part of copywriting?
Yeah, first of all, I like to say, if you're talking to 95% of CRO agencies out there, they won't focus on copywriting. They don't have good copywriters because they just do technical CRO, button testing, headline testing, and stuff like that. We put the whole focus on copywriting, like you said, because it's like the cornerstone of like how people convert, because a store in the end is like having a sales agent in virtual form and in like text form. So you have to get people going on your product. You have to, people have to love it if they read the text. So copywriting is really complex in a way that you have to understand the customer first. And from my experience, the biggest lever in like copywriting is using the audience's wording and voice. So you just go through it. I mean, you can use ChatGPT nowadays. You can just do a ChatGPT deep research and say, okay, pull me up the brand voice of people that are in this topic, and it will just go through all the Reddits, it will go through all the Amazon reviews, and it will just pick up the wording that the audience uses. And if you're talking in the language of your perfect customer, you will 100% shoot right into their head. They will read it and they will feel understood. And if people feel understood, they convert. So my biggest hack for like better copywriting would be to just change the wording to fit it better to the audience you're trying to sell to.
Amazing. And follow up on, because that was his follow up on what you were sharing about funnel testing and copywriting. Maybe if you could give us, not name the brand or whatever, but maybe an example of, I don't know, I did some funnel testing with copywriting, sales, whatever, and this is the process or this example that we found out, I don't know, a winning or...
So looking for winning patterns.
Something,
That
an
everyone
example.
can
Yeah,
implement,
because I know
yeah.
it's different depending on the brand. But if you could give us an example, maybe, hey, I don't know, when we tested with this brand, we did like 5 tests or 7 tests, and I don't know what you could...
I think copywriting itself is best for like problem-solving products. So most of my brands that I work with are problem-solving products. So plain simple, you have a skincare product that helps with a specific condition like acne. So you can do copywriting around the whole story of why you need this product. Or other example would be supplement that helps with like knee pain, for example. I don't know what's called in English, arthrosis.
Arthrosis, yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So many older people have this, and there's like supplements that can slow the inflammation and the process of arthrosis. And you can sell it to them in like a huge advertorial style copywriting. And that's where the whole funnel testing process works best if you solve a problem, because then you can apply the storytelling perspective to the page. And wherever we do that, because you ask for examples, wherever we add like the storytelling component to a product page, we have consistently seen 15, 20, 25% increases in conversion rate alone, just from one new section that was like storytelling. We know how you feel. It always starts with, we all know this feeling, and then you go into it. You have knee pain every day when you go up. You start to walk through your life, but you can't play with your grandchildren anymore. You just start to get into like the whole storytelling component of what are everyday situations people suffer in, and then you turn it around and say, okay, there's a solution that you didn't know about until yet. And this is like a particular section where we have a framework for that we always apply on almost all pages we do, especially product pages, landing pages, and advertorials are basically just one storytelling in itself. And it always leads to 10, 15, 20, 25% more conversion rate.
I think that copywriting at the end, I think that copywriting plays in a huge role, because at the end people purchase first by emotion and then by logic. That is something really important to narrow down, and when brands can figure it out, this is really important. So when you land in e-commerce on a product page, because I go and follow up with you, is how do you take the client from unaware to, at the end, what is the end? Problem, a product solution. Like, and this is this is the process. Unaware, I am aware of the problem. I am aware of the solution. I am aware of the product that solved me that solution. And if with that you trigger out these emotions, because I think that you put some key questions about like, hey, you cannot play more with your grandchild. Like, brother, this is gonna stick to the audience, and this is important. And with the copywriting, because I want to go to another point, how important is everything that's go along with the graphic content? No, you know, pictures, images, videos, and this that comes appealing with the storytelling that you're putting into a product page, advertorial, listicle, and so on.
Yeah, sure. So the thing is, I would say that's where relevance comes into play. So you have the ad.
Yeah.
Of course, ad creatives are important. Traffic is important, because without traffic, you can't optimize conversion rate. And I would say the perfect page, whatever it is, starts in the awareness stage where the ad ends. So you have like an ad that says, okay, did you know that you have this problem? Making unaware people problem aware. Then the page needs to start problem aware. And then you go through all the stages. But for example, if you have a full-blown 10-minute VSL as an ad creative, where you just go through everything in the ad itself. Of course, the page just needs to end the close, just do the logic part. So it all depends on what kind of traffic are you getting. Are you getting unaware traffic, problem-aware traffic, solution-aware traffic, product-aware traffic, or aware traffic? And this decides what kind of copywriting you have to do on the page that follows after that. So just look at the ads that are running where they're getting most traffic to your page. Obviously, you have different ad creatives, different angles, and different awareness stages. But you just see, okay, just 80-20, what does get 80% of the traffic, what kind of awareness stage, and then you craft the page to match exactly following up on that awareness stage.
What you're just talking, what you're saying, it's gold. Like literally 99% of the people don't know this, you know? And maybe you put it like this and put it so simple and it's a great idea, but I don't know, it's very hard to execute, or well,
is it?
No. But for the most people, or when you go and see 99% of the e-commerce, that's the most is the hardest part. People don't execute this.
They don't pay attention to that. Like a CRO problem is
they don't understand it. They don't know it.
A CRO problem is a problem that established brand actually get it. Like, because I need to figure out how I can get better with the things that I'm doing and with the traffic, because okay, I already have 500,000 people a month in the page. What I can do to get more sales. Should I need more traffic, or should I make this traffic that is a lot of people convert better? And this is something that's come along. And by your experience, what do you think about this?
Well, I would say the sweet spot to start with CRO and really put focus on it in a way that you basically hire an agency like we are one, starts at I would say $250K a month in revenue, because usually you have around, if you have 80 euros or $80 AOV, doesn't matter, you have 3,000 to 4,000 orders a month. And this is, statistically speaking, the amount of orders you need to do one test a week, because you need on average 1,000 conversions per test to judge, is it winning or is it losing? So there's many CRO agencies out there saying, okay, we can do testing on 50K revenue, 60K revenue, but oftentimes it's just not enough because they're doing small tests and you can measure them. It's just a plain simple mathematics thing that you need a certain amount of data to judge. You can compare that. It's the same principle with the COVID vaccines, for example. They had to do a clinical trial study on 25,000 people, because if they did it on only 10 people, you wouldn't notice if there's any side effects. And the same is for conversion rate optimization and testing and split testing, funnel testing, whatever. You always need enough traffic and enough conversions to see, okay, is there a noticeable difference? Because sometimes conversion optimization also leads to worse conversions. If you test the worst product page, worst landing page, happens. You have a win rate of 50, 60% maybe. So 40 to 50% of the tests you're doing will not win. So you need to see, are they not winning? Because else you will just send traffic to a page that's not winning and you will never be able to judge. So I would say conversion optimization in a way that you hire an agency makes sense from $250K a month upwards. But doing it in-house for yourself and just doing funnel testing different landing pages, advertorials, listicles, if you have the resources for it and the knowledge, you can start from zero, basically.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I have a question in order to understand the process. So let's say, okay, you make around 250 a month.
Mm-hmm.
They start working with you and they say, okay, we want to optimize. What is the first step that you do?
Yeah, basically, our process is really simple. It's conversion rate optimization in general only involves 5 disciplines. It's always, it's strategy that needs to be done. We want to test a new angle. This new angle could work. Second thing is to craft the copywriting and say, okay, this is the layout that we want on the page. This is the copywriting, the storytelling part, the emotions that we're basically trying to convey. The third thing is the design part, where you basically need to add the imagery, add the pictures, and basically make it work on the design level. And then you have the development. You have to build it in Shopify, Gem Pages, whatever. And then you have the testing part, where you just put it plain simple into a split test, you analyze the results and stuff like that. So it's always those 5 things that just repeat on a weekly basis to get new tests going. And most CRO agencies focus on like an audit phase of like 2 to 3 months where they look at all the data and they try to make 150 test ideas. We do a different approach because we think speed of execution is key. So we do a quick rapid fire audit first. So we look at what are the 4 biggest levers we can pull. And as we pull 1 lever a week, 1 test a week usually, we say, okay, these are the first 4. We start working right away to get these tests going.
Of course, that is I think is key. I also, like, it comes to my mind, what is your approach on the strategy with the product? You know, at the end, probably you could have clients that have, I don't know, 20 SKU or 100 SKU. So you approach and say, okay, we're going to focus on these 2, this first one, and then we're going to review the next products that is in the process, or how do you go with that?
Well, you usually have 2 types of brands out there. You have the one product store, not actually one product stores, but you have like stores that have 20 SKUs, but only like 2 or 3 of them are bestsellers and making up 80% of the revenue. So of course, 80% of the amount of work you do in traffic, conversion rate optimization, whatever, should lead to only those 2 or 3 SKUs. And then there's the second type of brand that's like more a warehouse, where you have like in fashion, where you have hundreds of SKUs, different colors and stuff. Then you start to work on a template level. So you don't change one product, but you change all product templates in one go. And you test different things on there as well.
That's amazing. I've got a question, and it's, you're talking about these testings for brands that do over 250K or over 4,000 orders a month. What do you suggest for brands that do less than that?
Yeah, like I said, plain, simple funnel testing in a way that you just try to get better funnels going, get better landing pages, get better advertorials, better listicles. Because on a technical perspective, like I said, changing button colors is like the easiest thing. You won't be able to measure any result from that because you don't have enough traffic, you don't have enough conversions to judge that. So the smaller you are, the bigger the test that you're doing has to be, the bigger the impact has to be so that you can still measure it. So if you're doing like 100 sales a month only, in order to judge if a test is working, you have to have an uplift of 60%. Just mathematically spoken. Yeah. So that means for us as a CRO agency, if we're working with a brand of this size, 100 orders a month, we need to figure out a way, how can we achieve 60% uplift? And that's either by doing bigger tests or just putting things together, not testing one thing, but like 10 in one go, like doing bigger swings so that we can measure the impact from that as well. So the smaller you are, the bigger the tests are you have to do.
Okay, I think that in order to continue with the conversation of CRO optimization is, in a perspective, you have the product page that we have been discussing here, but then you have the checkout, you know, that is also play a huge part on the optimization. How do you manage this step? What is the process? What do you look? Do you look to do uplift or upsells, cross sells, fast checkout?
Yeah. So from my experience, so if you're on Shopify, there's not much you can do, except if you're in Shopify Plus. For Shopify Plus stores, there's like a few best practices you can do in like the checkout, which is like adding trust elements to the right side of the page where you have the order summary. Basically add 3 reasons why and just 1 testimonial. That's like the best practice way to go. You have like a 1-click cross-sell there where you have like a complementary product that is being sold, and you usually change the logo. That's for Shopify Plus stores. For non-Shopify Plus stores, you can't change anything about the checkout. So no worries about that. The only thing you can change there is basically the logo. And what we usually do as a hack, as a workaround to add trust to the checkout, even if you can't customize it, is to change the logo in a way that you use the logo and add like 2 to 3 trust bullets to it and upload it as an image.
Okay, it's like a small trick.
Exactly. It's a small trick to get more people to buy from the checkout, and it has seen to increase checkout conversion rate from like 5 to 7% uplift just by changing the logo image from a plain simple logo to a logo with like 5 stars, 10,000 reviews, free shipping with tracking, and 90 days money back guarantee.
By the way, because this week I had a meeting with a client that he's like um he sells like a product for plants and whatever, and I was telling to the team like, okay, we cannot change too much of the product page image, but let's have the first image, and in the first image, let's put all the design there, you know?
Yeah.
So put the benefits, put the reviews, put so on. And so when you go and see the product, it has a lot of things because the template that they had in this moment is not a fast solution to change, you know? So yeah, some tricks that I was doing the similar things.
Yeah. A question: how do you manage, let's say, a conversation where people might be skeptical of, I don't know, whatever you're proposing? You know, like, hey, I don't know, maybe I don't know, it's not going to look well, or I don't believe you, or whatever. How you do usually onboard that type of conversations?
Yeah,
Because it
well,
happens a lot.
yeah, it should happen a lot. Luckily, it doesn't happen too often for us because we understand the client, what he wants, and we understand the end user, what they want. And we try to always find a balance. But obviously, there's some tests that are more edgy where the client is like, I'm not sure about that. But the good thing with conversion rate optimization is that you can test everything. So you can just use the argument with the client and say, okay, dear brand owner, it's good that you think that way, but in the end user decides, and that's why we test it. So let's do a test and prove me wrong. I think the test will perform. You don't think it will perform. Let's bet on it. Let's do a test and see how it goes. And most of the times, obviously, the client was wrong and I was right. And then the client is like, okay, I don't like it, but obviously
It's working.
if it brings in more revenue and
yeah.
like 5K a day more revenue, I won't reject it just because I don't like it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. At the end, at the end, numbers apply in businesses. However, we have got experience with other with other brands that they are really weighted onto the design and the beautiful of the page, and they take aside the performance, and sometimes it's hard
Yeah,
to
like,
change that mind.
how does
And
the image look, or I don't like that copywriting, or I don't think that we should communicate that. And it's what you said. It's, we have to test thing out, and let's see, and if it brings an additional revenue and whatever,
Exactly.
that's
uh,
important.
Exactly.
for
But
the
I like
company.
to add, zero doesn't have to be ugly. When
yeah,
people think about conversion rate boosters, they often think about
yeah. The
yellow
top,
countdowns,
the red
blinking
one. Yeah, yeah,
things, and stuff like that.
yeah.
But good zero doesn't have to be that way. You can combine good design, good copywriting, with great user experience in zero. You
Yeah.
know, so most of the times people won't notice that we're running split tests on the pages because they just seamlessly blend in. You know,
Yeah.
it still fits into the brand design. And
Yeah.
if we add a countdown, we don't do it in yellow, although we know neon yellow might perform the best for a countdown. But we do it in the brand CI.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it's always a compromise between what the end user wants to see and how the brands want to present
Communicate.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the congruency.
I want to continue with the let's say the post purchase that is at the end, the lifetime value of the customer.
Yeah.
How much do you involve in the lifetime value of the customer with the CRO structure or with the process that you have with the stores that you manage?
Yeah. Per definition, conversion rate optimization ends with the conversion, of course, and everything afterwards is like lifetime value optimization, so CLV optimization or AOV optimization if you're talking about post-purchase upsells. Also in Shopify, you're pretty limited in terms of like post-purchase checkout upsells. There's a few apps that do that, but you can't change too much about the pages. So the only thing you can do here is doing offer testing, and that's what we're doing. We're testing, starting to set up different logics. If people buy product A in the post-purchase on the thank you page, they will see, okay, you get 20% discount on this product that works perfectly and enhances the effectivity of the product A, for example. Yeah, but apart from that, there's not much you can do on a post-purchase level on Shopify itself. We have brands that are like hard scalers that are not using Shopify for their funnels. They're using third-party softwares like Checkout Chamber or Funnelish, where you can set up advertorials, list tickets, landing pages, not product pages, obviously. And they will land in Shopify from a technical perspective, but the payment gateway and the checkout, everything is coming from Checkout Chamber or Funnelish. And then you can add post-purchase VSLs, for example, where you say, okay, wait, don't close this page. This is a one-time offer. And you can be really shady there. And we've recently... we recently had an example where we tested the normal way of like advertorial sales page Shopify checkout, no post-purchase, to Checkout Champ advertorial sales page checkout post-purchase VSL. And we're able to lift the AOV from 120 to 140 just by incorporating this post-purchase VSL. So there's a huge lever there, but it's harder to test because you can't incorporate it. You can't incorporate it in Shopify directly.
Harder to execute.
At the end, we when we try to do, let's say, this post-purchase thank you page, some of the apps that we're working on, and I also want to say is Shopify and One Uplift. I think one ClickUp. I think that is that we run about that because in Shopify in the native interface it's not working, and I don't know why Shopify doesn't do anything with that. It's an important thing on the industry.
Yeah, it is. I'd like to add after sell is also good for post purchase, and Gem Pages also has a sales funnel feature. So if you're using Gem Pages in your store natively, I wouldn't recommend it installing just for that. You can also add post-purchase funnels where you have different A/B testing capabilities and testing different offers that work together. We can also do a bit of copywriting on the pages themselves.
Okay. Amazing. The following question is, what type of tools do you recommend people to use to understand data, to understand maybe heat maps, whatever you could provide?
And there's like one simple tool, and it's free to use. It's Microsoft Clarity.
Microsoft Clarity.
Yeah, heard about that?
No, I've never used it.
Yeah, it's like Hotjar.
Yeah.
But much more advanced, and for free, unlimited.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you get session recordings, you get heat maps, you get scroll maps, you get interaction maps. You get all JavaScript errors that are happening on the page. You get page speed insights. You get basically everything. You can segment. You can start custom events and do your own event tracking there. So I can basically say, okay, only show me sessions with an add to cart. Only show me sessions that are going to a specific page. And the good thing about that is it's 100% free and has unlimited sessions covered because it's Microsoft. And obviously, they profit from the data they're getting from that as well. So they use it to train their LLMs, their AIs with that. And in return, you get the whole software for free. You can just install it, and it works.
Wow.
That is
great. Yeah, and it integrates with Shopify, or
it's just a plain simple code. I think it even has an app to integrate, but it's just like Hotjar. You just add a code snippet to your header file. It's like 2 minutes of work. They have an extensive tutorial on how to do that, and then it starts recording traffic.
Wow, man! I mean, you just saved people thousands of dollars in applications and things with this.
No need for Hotjar anymore.
I think I also have because we're like starting to talk about AI. How do you think that AI is gonna play a role on CRO? And what is the evolution of CRO with AI?
Yeah, since CRO, like I said, consists of five different things you have to do: strategy, copy, design, development, and testing. Of course, it enhances speed of execution in the single disciplines. You can't just say, okay, I have a CRO agent that does everything. But of course, you can use ChatGPT, for example, to generate better copy for your advertorial. You can use it to generate the perfect images without hiring a designer for the advertorial, for example. Infographics and stuff like that hasn't been possible in the past years to execute on within like minutes is now possible. So it enhances the speed of execution. But from my experience, the strategy still has to come from a human because as of right now, ChatGPT is not that good in like auditing. I haven't found a way to do the perfect zero audit in AI, but it can help with all these single tasks that are involved in it.
Yeah, like break down the task that you're mentioning there and
exactly
the process. And do you think that
It's a tool. It's not going to do the work for you, but it's a tool for you to be like it's a support. But you have to.
It's the same as with ads agencies. Like
Yeah.
CRO is the same as an ads agency. We're just on a different level. Ads agencies are working on creatives, media buying, strategy, creating
angles,
content and
correct,
stuff like
yeah.
that. And CRO is basically the same thing translated. Instead of content, we create pages. Instead of creative strategy, we do CRO strategy.
Yeah.
Instead of cutting and editing, we do development. Instead of media buying, we do testing. So it's basically the same skill set that's involved in a way, the same things you need to do to get it live, just on a different level. So if you're talking about AI, it's basically the same things it can help you with.
Yeah, and with the data process, do you leverage AI to read the data? The data? So let's say, yeah, you do the A/B testing and you want to optimize. You take the information and let's say, okay, I work along with the data and we make the decision with them.
There's
With
no
the
AI
ChatGPT?
needed for that, honestly, because it's just plain statistics. So if you have a good A/B
Knowledge.
testing tool, for example, it shows you in the dashboard, okay, this is how it's performing, this is how long it's going to take until it's significant, so you don't need AI at this point. You can use it to conduct like review aggregators where you just pull all the reviews you have and say, okay, what are the copy? Like I said in the beginning about the how do you find the voice of customer language, you can just give it to ChatGPT, it will pull you out. But in terms of like data analysis, there's no AI needed to be involved in that because it's not something creative.
Amazing. Next question: if you had like one advice, or what would be the biggest leverage you could tell brands for them to start doing CRO or to take a look into CRO? Yeah, what would be your advice for brands in sense of CRO?
Ditch your product page and try a landing page. That's the first easiest test you can always do. It's like take the boring product page that you've had for years with like the same template, take your best seller and craft a landing page where people can buy directly. That's the biggest level always. That's the first thing we always do. Just take the product page, test it against the landing page. Always the same. Super easy.
Wow, very nice. Very
Yeah.
very good advice. That's a good way for people to start testing and iterating.
It's the first part also. And I think if you already have validated the product, it's easy for you to go and do the testing.
Yeah, sure. And it's like, it also has huge impacts. It's like consistently the first test we do is like the one with the biggest impact. So we had like one client in like horse supplements, so supplements for horses. And we did product page versus landing page was the first and only test we did. So they hired us one time and said, okay, what can we optimize? And I'm like, okay, let's do product page versus landing page. And yeah, they were not doing too much revenue, about 3 to 4K a day. So 90 to 120 in revenue. So I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense to hire us on a monthly basis. Just not enough traffic there, but we can do one off. And they were like, okay, what can we do? And I was like, okay, let's do product page versus landing page because that's the easiest thing to do. And they were like, okay, what do you expect? And I'm like, okay, I expect 20% uplift from that. And they were like, wow, you're crazy. And I'm like, let's see. And we did it, and we had 47% uplift in conversion rate. So it was like crazy. And
without discount.
Without discount.
Yeah.
No discount.
Full price.
Yeah, full price. We just changed the structure from a plain product page without any added context to landing page that matched the best performing angle from the ad.
Yeah.
That was one of the best tests we ever did.
Yeah, and I think it's a easy way to do it. You already have the product page, go build the landing. I have a question. This might be really not so easy to answer, but what do you think about TikTok Shop and how CRO will be involved with TikTok Shop in the future? I don't know, what is your... I told you, it's not so easy.
So TikTok Shop is a platform on its own. So it's like the same principles that apply to Amazon stores. So you as a brand, you don't have control over how TikTok does its conversion rate optimization, does its UX, UI, but you have control over how you craft the title and how you craft the product images. If you look at the average Amazon brand to compare it with, that's like really successful, and you look at their product images and compare it to like the successful D2C brand, for example, you will notice huge differences because on Amazon you don't have too much space, so you just push everything into the product images with like many callouts and stuff. And exactly the same principle applies to TikTok Shop as well. So if you want to do conversion optimization on TikTok Shop, you have to change the product imagery first because it's the biggest lever you can pull there.
Yeah, I think it's a great advice, and also it's something that people can leverage because at the end, yeah, you go to Amazon and you see everything that is bracketed in a wireframe, or you cannot go apart on that, and you need to push through the carousel at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I would like to have like another question regarding a CRO and its go, especially to the metrics. We have been talking about the copywriting, the strategy, the process, so on, and we have been discussing at the end on the A/B testing. What are the key metrics? Of course, optimization of the conversion, but what are the other metrics that you should be putting into account?
Yeah, that's a really good question to answer because conversion rate optimization implies that you're looking on conversion rate. And many people that get started on conversion optimization, they're doing like a rookie mistake, and that is just looking at conversion rate. Because in reality, you can have tests that have like 10% more conversion rate, but AOV dropped by 20% because you gave like a 20% discount. So
yeah, your sales doesn't grow. You stay equal, you lose margins. Yeah,
exactly. But a rookie conversion rate agency would say, okay, that's good because we had 10% conversion rate uplift. The real king metric is revenue per visitor, RPV. And we always look at RPV to judge our tests. So we say, okay, we have on average 5% more RPV is good. But then the client wants to know, okay, how's conversion rate and how's AOV going? Because it depends on business focus. Sometimes people want more new customers, so higher conversion rate, less AOV is okay because they, in the end, get it back from like customer lifetime value. And we have other brands that say, okay, we only have one shot with the customer. We want the highest AOV possible. Conversion rate doesn't matter too much. So RPV is like the king metric because it combines conversion rate and AOV. So that's our general guideline to judge. And based on the brand and the brand's goals, we will align that and say, okay, we do more tests that leverage conversion rate. We do more tests that leverage AOV.
Yeah, it's a great indicator. And at the end, yeah, what we tell you are in different stages. If you want to client acquisition and the speed of your client, probably you could drop the AOV and bring more people to purchase and learn the product and go with the process.
Do you also take into account metrics, let's say for landing pages? Well, like add to cart or reach checkout or average session duration or bounce rate? Do you look at that metrics or not so much, or what's your approach?
Rotation, yeah,
it's all rather secondary goals. We always track them to keep track of it. But in the end, if I have a landing page that has like 50% more add to carts, but 80% less checkouts, what do I have from this page?
Nothing.
Yeah. So there's a big misconception about conversion rate optimization that you just optimize the plain simple page. Like I optimize the landing page and the landing page responsibility ends with the add to cart, but it doesn't. Because in the end, everything that is on the landing page can influence the steps that come after it. And so if you don't have enough data to judge from the conversion rate, people tend to say, okay, let's judge add to cart rate because we have more add to carts than like conversions. But it's the same reason why you don't run ads that optimize on add to cart. Yeah. I've never seen a good ads agency optimize ads on add to carts.
Yeah,
because it's the same principle. You don't want to optimize on add to carts, you want checkouts, you want conversion.
Of course.
And it's the same for conversion optimization as well. You can keep track on it to see, okay, and basically do your own research on it and find out, okay, why is there less people adding to cart and more checking out? What's the reason behind that to craft a new test? But you can't use it to judge a test itself.
Of course. I have another question regarding like the process of getting better on the conversion rate. So what do you think about testimonies and reviews? Because a lot of conversation that I have with brand owners is, okay, I do not trust a review, everybody could put a normal review. So what is your point of view there?
Yeah, in the end, it still works. So
it still works. And in video, it works really well.
Yeah. So you have video, image, text. Video has the most credibility.
Yeah.
Then you have the
photo.
images, and then you have like the text, which are the worst because you could fake them, and people are aware that you could fake them. In reality, it's like not a difference of 10, 50, 100%. It's rather a difference of 100, 95, and 90%. So text review is still really important, and you can fake them. We have so many clients that have like thousands of faked reviews where I say, okay, I don't support that, but it's your decision to do. I'd much rather have real reviews, and they're like, okay, no, let's just put 1,000 reviews on there so that it looks like much, and it works. It works.
Yeah, it works.
So we have tested that actually quite some time ago when we had one client that had like 260 real reviews, which is already good. They didn't collect reviews via the email flow, so it all came in organically. So 260 reviews is all right. And then we just swapped it in an A/B test and changed the number from 260 to 1,900, I think. We had a 6% uplift in conversion rate just by changing the number on the top of the product
You already
page.
have the video, you just change the number. And
Exactly. We didn't have the reviews.
Yeah.
But people don't read 1,900 reviews.
Yeah.
They just see, okay, it's
The
not.
first
Yeah.
It's not 200. It's 1,000, 2,000.
Exactly. They won't see it.
Okay.
I saw a strategy of someone who, this is shady, but
Yeah.
what they did, I saw a course, and the strategy that they run, they saw and they went to the reviews. They upload reviews, and with those reviews, they have pictures and videos, and obviously, of course, that, and you can filter the reviews by bad and good ones, and they have like 4.8. And the bads, they have like 3 bads, but the reviews that they given as a bad, it was not something important. It was the product arrived 3 days later.
Yeah.
So because what happened with people on reviews, they see the top reviews and the baddest reviews, and the bad reviews they go and see, it's no problem for me, I could wait three days. So the perception of that bad review is not so bad.
Yeah. There's like whole studies conducted around that a 1-star review is X times more effective than a 5-star review because people tend to read 1-star reviews much rather than they do 5 stars. So same for me. I always read the 1 stars. You do as well,
Shady,
probably.
brother,
I always
Yeah,
go to
exactly.
that 1 star.
Strategy.
Yeah.
That strategy.
When I go to the Shopify apps, for example, whenever I'm installing one, I always see at the bad reviews. And if depending on the bad review of the 1 star, that's my
Exactly. And that's a good
decision.
strategy because most brands
And nobody
tend
do
to
it.
just hide all the bad reviews. They
Yeah.
only have 4 and 5 stars. And it's actually much better to have like 10 1-star reviews that are written in a way that they are not really bad.
Yeah.
So it's shady.
It's shady, but
Officially,
brother,
I don't recommend doing it, but unofficially,
brother,
It
at
works,
The
it
end, at the
works.
end is,
10
at the
bad
end,
reviews, 7,
say-
it arrives 1 day later, 3, it arrives 2 days later.
Yeah, it's like, it's like that. So to give it like like the end of the podcast. We're coming from the peak of the season for many of the e-commerce. What is this like gem that you could give to this piece of nugget that you can give to the people? Like this is what you should do in your optimization of your conversion for the season.
the biggest Q4 hack?
Yeah. The biggest, like you say, it probably is not just one thing, but it's something that you can say this is a good hack.
There's actually one thing that we always do.
Yeah.
And it's like the same as with product page versus landing page. It's just having a Black Friday sales page.
Yeah.
It's like
The difference.
most of the brands don't
They're
have a Black
101.
Friday. Yeah. They
Yeah.
just have a banner or something like that. But everywhere we implemented this, we have our biggest clients that do like 2 million in 48 hours via Black Friday. They always do it via Black Friday sales page. Because on the sales page, you can add storytelling, you can add copywriting, you can highlight the offers. You have so many more opportunities in comparison to like just putting it on a plain simple product page and redirecting traffic there.
Yeah.
So my biggest advice there, because it's simple to execute as well, is just having a plain simple Black Friday sales page. You can do it in all black background. You don't have to do any fancy things. Just add a banner on top, Black Friday sale at our brand,
Counter.
50% off, countdown only
Yeah.
this time left, and then you just put the offers below each other. And
brand your Black Friday sale and go and send the
Exact-
traffic there and go and
exactly,
put some badges and
exactly.
go and be straight to the point.
Biggest sale of the
sometimes.
year.
Yeah, biggest
Buy
sale of the
before
year.
it runs
Exactly.
out.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
super
yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
It's like
it's-
set up in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's
if
not
you're
so
quick.
hard. Yeah, if you're quick and you have experience, is something that. And actually, one of the brands that we're partnered with, that we sell accessories for men, we always have been leveraging a lot this landing page, especially for the season, and is one of the best brands on result on conversion rate optimization.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the brand I told about with like the 2 million in 48 hours, the page had a conversion rate of like 13%. So it's
Oh,
a
amazing.
crazy. It's like
Yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy.
Yeah,
And
13%.
overall store is like
Yeah.
5%. So
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
see more than double the conversion rate on this particular page, Black Friday sales page just always works.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. Do it.
No.
Amazing. Well, Yannick, we're already like almost 1 hour into the podcast. If people want to contact you to hire your services, to get in touch, how can they do it?
Yeah, just go to AgenCRO.com. You will find resources there, some of my videos. I'm on YouTube as well. And yeah, just contact me via Instagram, via AgenCRO.com, wherever you want. You will be guaranteed to always talk to me. I don't have a sales team. I'm not planning on introducing a sales team. It's really important for me to start a real client relationship, to get to know you better. So if you want, just book a call whenever you want and see you there.
No, brother, thanks for being here. We're also gonna put all your contact information on the video, on the description, and I think you give us a lot of high value information that many times is hard to get, you know. And thanks for open and give all this information to our audience.
Yeah, we were very happy to have you here. It's amazing that we've been building this relationship, and see you in the next time.
Thank you. It was an honor.
No, for you, Yannick. See you.
See ya.
Thank you.
See you then. Bye.